Hello there, everyone. Welcome to Movies Are Real for the month of June 2K19. I am your host, George. I'm here with this podcast journey with one Ryan Lance.
It's me.
Hi there, Ryan. How are you?
I'm fine.
That's the classic Ryan.
Classic Ryan moment.
I'm here with Carrie Lyles. Carrie, how are you doing?
I'm great.
Oh, good. See, that is also classic Carrie. This is the movie podcast where we talk about the movies of the month prior and what we're looking forward to the next month. It is June. Well, it is technically July when we're recording this, but June happened.
Story of our lives.
Yeah.
It's pretty early.
This is pretty
July.
fucking early for us.
Good.
Yesterday was a holiday, technically.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a holiday, not technically. Today might as well be a holiday, honestly. June. There were some movies. One including Men in Black International. The folks at Sony are not ready to give up the ghost on the Men in Black license and have given us another motion picture in the critically acclaimed and beloved series that is not completely outdated by the late 90s. Yeah. They put Tessa Thompson in this one, and I'm here. Am I the only one who saw this?
Yeah.
Okay. Then they put Tessa Thompson in this one, and I would have actually joked that they couldn't save it from mediocrity, but it's better than Men in Black 3.
I don't remember hating Men in Black.
But I also can't remember anything about it. But I'm pretty sure that it's better than that.
I only saw the first one.
I think this is probably the best one since the first one.
Well, perfect.
Yeah.
But what does that really say about
Nothing really. It doesn't say anything. It doesn't really say who Men in Black International is for. People in their 40s.
People who love Liam Neeson?
Maybe. People who like Tessa Thompson, that's probably for the young kids. Like, oh man,
Yeah.
I'd love to see a new Men in Black. Oh, I don't care about Men in Black, but I like Tessa Thompson. Is that Chris Hemsworth, isn't it? Okay, so this movie, I saw it by myself. Danjo and I, which is my girlfriend, we were like, well, she was like, man, why don't we watch just middling movies anymore? I like to be swimming in sevens sometimes, you know?
She told me, she's told me, I can't remember what receipt was like, George always sends me to like
Child's Play.
Yes.
She's like, he always shows me like either like the nerdiest shit or like the most hipster trash.
Yes.
It's like, I want to see a regular ass.
Just a
movie.
normal
And then she
movie.
was like, so we went to Men in Black, and I was like, oh yeah, this is why we don't see normal movies.
Yes, that's exactly why.
And I was like, so what'd you think? I was like,
I think I gave up the ghost on that before we even started the podcast, I think. But yeah, so this movie is very middling. I don't think it's terrible. I know people really slammed it online.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's a fucking it's like a Hollywood popcorn movie. It is
Right.
that. I think Tessa Thompson does a lot. Like, she's in a suit for most of this movie.
Nice.
And she's in a polo, in a black polo for when they're in Venice or some summer. The place where Aquaman fought Manta Ray in
man.
fucking that island. I think it was Spain. No, it was Italy. I can't remember where that was.
Aquaman went so many different
Yeah,
places.
that is
so
very
quickly.
true.
He was,
Honestly,
in the ocean, then
man.
he was in the desert. then he
Again,
was
they are
in
in
Italy.
they are in Italy in this movie. They are in the desert in this movie also. So there was a moment I was like, man, remember Aquaman? I think I told him, man, that was a good movie. This is not as long as Aquaman. So Tessa Thompson has been following the Men in Black for her entire life. She met an alien when she was a little kid, and she was not given the deneuralizer, that little flashy thingy, but she saw her parents get, when she saw when the Men in Black were like, hey, we're looking for this alien thing. There's alien thing. And then they got deneuralized. She was on the top floor of their apartment, and she saw it. She was like, whoa! And so ever since she's been chasing them, she finally finds them. She gets, who is the actress who is in that movie with Mindy Kaling?
Emma Thompson?
Yes, Emma Thompson is the director of the Men in Black US branch in this timeline. And Emma Thompson is like, I'm gonna send you to England. I think there's something funny going on over there. You're gonna go over there and you're gonna help them out, whatever they need. Which is the branch that Liam Neeson's in charge of. The best agent, so-called, in that place is his son, Chris Hemsworth. Chris Hemsworth is a slacker, handsome guy who's like, hey, guys, you know what I'm saying? Ha classic. And, he's in one scene, we see him at a classic Chris Hemsworth. He's playing poker, really drunk, trying to get this alien guy. And then things go bad. And then there's this, one cool alien lady who's, also, a big drug dealer, don't want to fuck with them. And he's, the bad guy poisons Chris Hemsworth. And then he's like, I'll give you anything you want, lady, if you fucking whatever the hell, give me the antidote. And she's like, anything? And they fuck.
Nice.
And then he's like, I'm out of here. I'm Chris Winsworth, bitch. And there's like, everyone laughs like, ha ha. Anyways, Liam Neeson is a snake. Liam Neeson's fucking an alien, actually. Actually, Liam Neeson died all years ago. That's the twist of this movie.
Well.
Yeah, sorry. In that, they go on an adventure to fucking, figure out, get this alien thingy, whatever. Kumail is in this movie, and my fucking god.
Uh-oh. Nanjiani?
Yeah. Kumail, okay, I like Kumail a lot.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But if I was a casting director, if I was someone who wanted a wacky, funny, someone to break the tension, who can make the one-liners, if I was very inside-the-box thinker, maybe not the brightest, I would get Kumail. And Kumail is just underutilized here. He's just here to sound funny and give quips. That's what it feels like. And it's a real shame. And also, you can tell just Kumail, he's just reading off a fucking, Scholastic Book Fair joke book. It's not great. So that really fucking depressed me.
That sucks.
It felt like Kumail's career took a dark turn at some point. Or the early parts of his career, he's trying to get started,
Yeah.
He hasn't had the big sick yet. We don't know this kid, but he's got a lot of potential. He's funny.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. And I was like, why are you doing this movie? Whatever. I guess we all need to get, they probably paid very well. All right, I get it. So it's very disappointing, but I think the movie's fine. There's plenty of Tessa Thompson. She does good work in it, as good as, it's what you expect. It's fun. But I don't think anyone has any fond feelings for the Men in Black. I don't know. And it's fine.
Not I.
It is perfectly fine.
I remember liking the first one a lot.
I think I've only seen 2 and 3 and 4. I haven't seen the first one.
Really?
There's some guy who wants sugar, right? That's the first one.
Sugar, yeah.
Like
The cockroach monster
Yeah.
guy.
Sugar.
Yeah.
My favorite part about Men in Black was the music videos they played beforehand. Let me tell you what, Men in Black, a dumb song. Oh my god, what's the song for the second one? Which I like a lot better. Oh my god, Black Suit's Coming. That's what it was. The Black Suit's Coming. I saw when I was a little kid on the internet. I saw an AMV of that song with cutscenes from Shadow the Hedgehog.
Nice.
It was very good. Anyways, F. Gary Gray made this of Fate of the Furious, a terrible film, a disappointing film, travesty.
You're just full of the ticks today, aren't you?
Anyways, The Dead Don't Die is another movie we saw by one Jim Jarmusch.
The boy.
He's here with a motion picture about zombies, with one Adam Driver, Bill Murray, and Tilda Swinton. Tilda Swinton is Australian in this movie?
No, she's Scottish.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're right, totally. No, that's what she is. That's what it is. Yeah,
Or
Carrie.
is she?
Oh yeah, that was a thing. So Carrie, you like this? We all saw it, right?
Yes.
Okay, we saw it together. I can't
We all
remember.
saw it together, George.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I just always watch movies with so much other friends I have, so it's hard to really remember.
Carrie, you fucking love this movie a
Yeah,
lot.
I liked it a lot, and I think I'm one of the only people on the planet.
I mean, I liked it fine.
I also liked it fine.
A lot of people hate it.
Oh,
That
yeah.
I 100% see. I think I texted you this is this year's honorary It Awaits at Night fucking award. It comes at night award.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was getting ads for this on Facebook.
Yeah, totally.
And I was like, oh no.
That's Adam Driver and Bill Murray.
Zombies, how fun! Oh.
It's like Zombieland. I bet Bill Murray picks up a snowball or something. That's crazy. That's not this movie.
No.
It's very much not this movie.
No.
So
It takes half an hour to really get to zombie stuff.
It takes
too.
a while.
Yeah, it's a
slow-
long time.
It's a slow movie. It's fun. And it's flat and dry.
It's
I
the
really
flattest.
like
It's the
it.
driest.
Which
It's
is
the
one
most
of
self-aware.
Carrie's favorite things.
There is no fourth wall in this movie.
No.
But yeah, it's a weird thing because like we mentioned, it is a zombie movie, but it's a zombie movie that knows it's a zombie movie. At least Adam Driver certainly knows it's a zombie movie. And
I described it as a zombie parody movie made by someone who doesn't like zombie
yes,
movies.
1000%. Yes, you did mention that. That is the most accurate way I describe this movie. Yeah.
it's just funny.
So I think for those people who are sincere about wanting that, they're gonna fucking hate this movie.
Yeah, because I'm the kind of person who I like zombie movies, I guess, but I feel a little bit of the zombie, what's the word? Like
fatigue?
Zombie fatigues. It's like we've had a lot of zombies.
I feel like we've been saying this for the last 7 years. Yeah.
And so this feels fine to me to have like a boring ass zombie movie.
Yeah.
And I think it's funny. And I love everyone's performances, even though a lot of them are just like
Bill Murray's a great straight man in this.
Yeah.
Or he could have been the character Adam Driver plays. I think Adam Driver does it way better. But the sarcastic, the very straight man. Bill Murray has definitely played those types of characters. Like I would say he's kind of that character in Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
But he a good smart ass.
Yeah.
But he's better as the sincere, like, what the fuck is happening, guys? I think it's very good. And Adam Driver, stoic fucking dumb voice and
It is smart car.
Yeah, it is smart car. It's very good. And then we who was the actress who played the other cop?
Chloe Sevigny. I don't know how to say her name. Sevigny.
Yeah.
She plays also a good, just like, oh my god! It's very good.
Well, Abdul's like, calm down. What's wrong with you?
Can we also talk about not only is Adam Driver's delivery of ghouls great, but also his delivery of oh yuck. I think where this movie loses a lot of people is a lot of the fourth wall breaking stuff. People think that it's just dumb and pretentious.
Yes, that's how I feel.
And I think a lot of people also really, really hate that ending monologue from Tom Waits.
Oh, right.
But I thought it was fun.
In the
Like, perhaps we were the zombies all along.
I'm here to defend those people for a second.
Okay, go ahead and try.
So, I'm not one of those people, but I'm gonna say here, if I was one of those people, and I came in going for a sincere thing, this is the worst possible outcome.
Yeah.
Because it is very much that friend who is like, you like hanging out with them, but they will fucking, like, when they want to be the biggest asshole of a thing, they could totally be that asshole. Because this movie's like, oh no, you're a fucking idiot. You thought this movie was this? Wow, you fucking suck. And I'm going to make fun of you for an hour and a half. And you paid for it. You can leave. I don't fucking care, but we're here at this restaurant. I'm fucking sorry. And I can see why it's frustrating. But I think for me, it's like, no, there's no way this movie's going to play it straight. I think I would be disappointed if it did play it straight. Personally, I would be disappointed if it played straight. Yeah, Ryan, how'd you feel about it?
I enjoyed it. I felt a little, I don't know. I appreciate the long dry ride, but at some points I was just like, all right, can we like get
there are bits that like
and
I think it'd be fine if it'd be like 15 minutes shorter, honestly.
Yeah, that too. I do.
It's already pretty short.
And it's weird because like I both like and don't like how like they'd introduce like important like new characters, and then Adam just come like, oh, so Selena Gomez is dead.
Can we talk about when Selena Gomez was talking to Caleb Landry Jones and she was like, your horror movie knowledge is impressive.
Was it Adam Driver who was like, they made like a Mexican comment.
Oh yeah,
I forgot that girl is Mexican.
Yes.
How can you tell?
Like,
I love Mexicans.
I have like an affinity for the Mexicans. I think that's what he said.
That's why my favorite moment, just because of how uncomfortable it
I think that was like, I was next to you when I watched this. I even heard a very loud laugh at that.
That was very good. It was good because that felt like that should have been in the movie. Like, what the fuck was that?
That was just Adam Driver.
Yeah, that was very good. That
makes me think of one of my favorite things you've ever said about Adam Driver was when they were playing trailers for Black Klansman, and you were like, to be fair, if you put Adam Driver in a plaid shirt, he's gonna look like a racist.
Yes, oh, yeah. Yes, very much so. He's either a fucking fake nerd boy asshole who's very nice, but will completely emotionally manipulate you, or a racist. But I like him.
The duality of man.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, it's good. I think people will find. I think this might find a following once it's out like digitally, once it's out on Netflix and stuff. I think as a theater movie, I think it'll do better. It has a chance of being a cult thing and showing in theaters later,
definitely.
but definitely not for a mainstream audience. I think it's a tough. You definitely market it. I would market it to get those people because I don't know how else I would market this movie, but.
And I mean, he put so many fucking big stars in the
Yes.
movie. And this, I haven't really, I've just started watching more of Jim Jarmusch's stuff. I haven't seen most of it. I've seen most of his recent stuff, but this is one of his biggest releases ever.
Right, yeah.
So,
Yep.
for people who like him,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I've never seen Broken Flowers.
It was good.
Yeah.
It's one of those old guys trying to find meaning.
Movies, yeah.
Yeah, but it's
Was
still
it always
nice. It's got Bill Murray.
Was
and
it
Tilda Swinton in it.
before Lost in Translation or after?
I do not know.
Part of me wants to feel like it's older, but Lost in Translation is also old. It just had a big ass budget.
Yeah.
It's got Scarlett Johansson's butt in it.
Mm-hmm.
Not right
It's in
away.
Japan.
Right away.
The very first thing you see.
Anyways, Toy Story 4. Pixar and Disney have made many motion pictures. Some of them original, exciting ideas. Much of it recently has been, that old property we made? When we revisit it? It's been at least 7 to 6 years.
We're gonna revisit it, and also everyone that'll look. This movie's for me, not for the kids. This is for my people. We grew up on the. I'm so sick and tired.
Yeah,
I hate people my own age because they're like.
Yeah,
this.
it's our age. Yeah,
It's like anyone can like anything.
Listen, I still agree with that take, but I also hate children.
No, like children suck.
That's true.
No, we all agree with that. We all hate children on this podcast. That's fair. But like.
To catch me at the theater, like, you don't fucking get it, kid. God damn it. Listen.
I was your age when I watched Toy Story, and you're what? Your age, and you're watching Toy Story?
Right, you fucking idiot.
Get your fucking life together, dumbass. Do you even know who Tim Allen is?
Anyways, when can someone Google to me when Toy Story 3 was?
2010.
Okay, that sounds about right. Okay, cool.
Ryan, you Googled that so quickly.
I know.
Wow.
I have that Google
Jesus
fiber.
Christ, it's almost been a decade, huh? Wow.
Yeah.
Again, it's that it's been 7 to 9 years. There's enough of a generational gap. We can revisit this property and see if it hits again. So, Ratatouille is fucking they should have done that like 2 years ago at this point. I don't think they're ever going to revisit Ratatouille.
Ratatouille.
I don't think they're ever going to revisit it.
Monsters Inc. 3.
No.
Elementary school.
Point is, they've made a few of these, and these have been very, I would say, Finding Dory, Monsters University, The Incredibles 2.
Still haven't seen Incredibles 2.
Same.
Honestly,
fine.
could care less.
Yeah.
They've all been very much like, man, this is just creatively bankrupt.
Yeah.
I know, Ryan, you differ. I don't know if you've seen this, Carrie.
Seen what?
Toy Story 4 yet.
I
No,
saw
she had.
it with you, George.
Did Nancy? I'm bad.
Carrie has seen it
You're
twice.
right. We use that. Yeah.
Carrie has seen it twice.
It's been a blur. Anyways, I don't know. Carrie
What happens when 3 strangers get on a couch?
never seen a movie together before. Anyways, I very much felt not only I love Toy Story 3. Toy Story is a fantastic movie, and at the time I was very much in that fucking zone of like, oh my god, Toy Story.
When Toy Story 3 came out, we were all like about to graduate.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it was for some reason at that time like, oh man, I feel old, even though I'm not really not old, but it was at a good point. And I love Toy Story 3, and I think if you told me like that is the definitive end for that series, that is the most pinpoint.
It's almost like it was made to be the definitive ending of that story, and making a 4th one would have been ridiculous. Anyways,
I think they did a better than average job. It very much feels like they got whatever the fucking A-team at Pixar looks like nowadays to make this.
Yeah. It is definitely better than what I anticipate, because I anticipate it to be like another Monsters universe.
It's
like, okay,
way better than
that's
that.
fine, but like I still had this feeling of like I could have not seen this, and I would have.
I think, yeah.
And nothing would have changed.
It very much feels like. Again, it very much feels like I'm trying to think of like I don't know, but it feels like a number 4. It feels like we finished the trilogy. We decided this still makes money. We should make another one.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yes, exactly. Oh, perfect trilogy. Yeah, it very much feels like that. But I think it's the best 4 probably ever.
How many 4s have there been though?
Alien Resurrection, not great. Pirates of the Caribbean.
Pirates of the Caribbean 4 is
Fast-
the worst one.
Fast and Furious was the 4th.
Fucking terrible.
one. Okay.
Not great. I haven't seen Nightmare on Elm Street 4, but I bet it's
I
better.
haven't seen Hellraiser 4. Hellraiser 3 was kind of silly.
Blade, they never made a fourth Blade. They stopped at 3. Spider-Man 4, the script sounds pretty fucking awful.
Oh, it sounds amazing. What you're talking about.
But yeah, this is definitely probably one of the best. Like we're starting anew. And they're saying this is the last one, guys. Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, no.
You Bob Iger, you piece of shit,
9 years from
motherfucker.
now, they're gonna be like, we need to complete Buzz's arc.
What? I don't care about Buzz's arc.
I'll tell you about Buzz Lightyear or Star Command. They already did that.
Look, this movie was described to me by my roommate and our friend, Zach. He was like, Ryan, Toy Story 3, it ended Andy's arc, but 4 is about ending Woody's arc. And I was like, you're not selling me. I could care less about a fucking toy's arc in a fucking movie. Are you kidding? I don't care. What? He's a toy.
It's Woody, Ryan.
I don't care. That was one of the first movies I ever saw. I had several Woody toys as a kid, and I could care less.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Also,
his arc was like painfully obvious.
yeah. If we are doing
like without spoiling, like at the end, like it was like, okay, that's kind of sad, but like I knew it was coming. That for me, that wasn't like the sad part of the movie.
they took out the definitive end. They're like, we can if we wanted to, we could do this for fucking ever now.
Because like it really feels like it takes place 2 weeks later.
Yes, it does. Pretty much, yeah.
Which is funny because like I think she's like demanding that she gets Woody too, and he's like, wait a minute, this is Woody. And she's like, you know what? Yeah, I'll give you. It's like, great, it goes in my closet forever.
It goes in the trash.
I like that.
It's gonna disappear and I'll never notice.
She likes Jessie.
Never. Yeah, she's a girl. She doesn't want to play with the stinky bully sheriff. Ugh.
Who voices Jessie?
Joan Cusack.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Also, all the fun like side characters with like the famous voices, I feel like they weren't.
The problem was that
they
there's
weren't in
too
here.
fucking many, and this is very much weird.
Yeah.
This is the fucking
And I
Tom Hanks hour.
And I didn't really care for like the new characters.
Really, you didn't like the
Forky?
yeah.
Forky was fun.
Who voiced Forky?
Tom Hale or something? Tony Hale?
Tony Hale, yeah, but like I did not like the Keenan and Peele characters. They were kind of boring.
They were funny.
I like them.
Yeah,
Keenan and Peele. I always like Keenan and Peele for some
Yeah,
reason.
you confuse your two black comedy duos, Ryan.
Ryan.
I'm so sorry.
Ryan is canceled.
Yikes.
No.
I get what you're saying. They're very blunt, obvious bits.
It's also like we need 2 side characters. Who's famous right now?
They have the most DreamWorks energy out of all the group. But yeah, a lot of the people that were introduced in 3 don't get a lot of attention. Like Mr. Prickle Pants. I like Mr. Prickle Pants.
Mr. Prickle Pants is great.
I like the Triceratops a lot. She doesn't get a lot of. Well, actually, she gets a moment when they're driving. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, there's too many characters, and there's not enough screen time for any of them other than Woody and Bo Peep. And even Buzz is a side character in the story.
Oh yeah, he's like barely in
very
it.
inconsequential.
Yeah.
Well, he learns to use his inner voice.
Yeah, he doesn't speak Spanish anymore. Yeah. Also, remember when the Jesse and Buzz thing was a thing at the end of 3? That they just kind of retconned.
She knows about his Spanish.
Yeah, they just kind of retconned that, huh? Anyways, I think this movie is the best of the Pixar. We're gonna bring this back, but at the same time, I mean, I had a good ass time. I don't know the toy and kid thing is very good. I don't even know if kids like toys anymore.
That's true.
Yeah, I was like, but
what are kids these days?
yeah, I don't fucking know what they
What,
like.
does my iPad turn to life
Yes,
after I turn around?
So it's like I don't fucking know, but it's still very good. Yeah, it's very touching, and I think like the bad guy, it's better than like Stinky Pete because Stinky Pete was just a bad guy.
Stinky Pete was a creep.
But he has a 3-dimensional bag. It's got empathy. Oh no, I like the little.
I liked 2 a lot as a kid.
Did you?
Yeah, I liked
I think
it a
2.
lot.
I haven't watched 1 and 2 in a long time, but I think 2 is still my favorite.
I like 1 more.
I think 2 is probably my favorite.
Just because I was the little girl who liked Jessie as well.
And then you threw her
Yeah,
away.
I had a Jessie doll.
That's a good song. It's a very good song.
I had the whole crew. I had Jessie, I had Woody, I had Buzz, I had a Bullseye. I don't know.
You have an
where they
RC.
are.
Not a lot of RC in this movie either.
Yeah.
Not a lot of Rex.
I've seen Toy Story 1 too much. I've also seen it two
Yeah, I've
times
seen Toy Story
in like
1 a lot.
in like high school and like Spanish classes.
Oh, see.
They would play it in Spanish. Like, this isn't helping me learn Spanish. I'm just annoyed that I'm not watching it in a language that I can comprehend fully.
I think my movie or my Spanish class we watched Up in Spanish.
Big Al's Chicken
It was
Barn.
always Toy Story 1 or Finding Nemo. And like it'd be the same year and we watched the same movies again, but not like start from where we were. It would always be like, okay, it's the beginning. It's like, okay, great. I know the entire like 30 minutes of Finding Nemo in Spanish pretty well, I guess. Weird though how that's the case.
Everything for a buck. That's Toy Story 2. Yeah, I like this. I thought this was way better than expected. I know Ryan's like kind of meh on it.
I'm very meh. Yeah,
Which
I
is
mean,
fair. It's better.
Yeah,
It's more you can say from Monsters University, which is outright a waste of everyone's time.
It did almost give me the part with the crying girl that
Fucked me up.
That
was very good.
That was very good. That was when I was like, aw. But then it's also like I don't like that doll still though.
Yeah, it's yeah.
And like I didn't like there was no like ramifications for like what she did. Like honestly like
The voice box.
the voice box thing. Like
Well,
obviously
because
like
Woody's
the girl.
decided he doesn't need a owner anymore. That's the whole thing.
But she just took it from him. He didn't even like mention it. He was just like, okay.
Yeah, that's true.
They made a deal, and she was like, "I'll give you back this fork."
But like, I wish there was like a brief moment of him being like, "Oh, I can't do this anymore."
You can't no longer say someone poisoned the
like,
water hole.
Because like it's supposed to be like.
I wanted him to go through all of his phrases one last time.
Because like the idea is like, oh, he'd sacrifice like anything for like this kid who doesn't even care about him that much, and that's and like I get that, but it's not really represented like fully. Like that's what's like he really does care about her. And then he leaves her.
It's weird how Buzz has been relegated to a side character in all these movies. Like every single one of them. Like it's all really is about Woody.
He grew pretty well in 2. Like that's part of why I like 2 so much. Is it kind of grew like his universe more.
That's true. When they were walking around,
like in the store,
the video
with all
game
the
was
other
about
buzzes, with all the other buzzes, with the villain, which I had a toy of the
Zurg.
villain.
I had Zurg when I was a little kid.
And that was a dope ass toy.
It was cool.
I had a Zurg toy.
It transformed.
It did.
I don't remember what it transformed into, but I remember it transformed.
It was a great video game. Also, it's a very good video game. Yeah, Toy Story 4. It's all right.
Yeah, people saw it.
I cried a lot.
Did you?
Yes.
The part with the Lost Girl got me. That was the part I cried.
The part that got me. Well, the first time I watched it, the part that almost. Well, I cried a little bit less the first time I watched it, but the very end, I was like, because I rewatched 3 before we saw 4, because I remember not liking 3 very much.
Really?
And I think it's still my least favorite of all of them.
Interesting.
But the end of it really hit me when I rewatched it, because I remember watching it when
it
first came out, and I was like, that wasn't that sad. Everyone was saying they were crying, whatever. And then I rewatched it now, and I was like, oh my god.
It is a
I was like ready to cry.
It is the most
story.
What the fuck, guys? It's very much that was a fun meeting to be like, how many fucking seconds are we gonna fucking like think these people like they're gonna fucking kill these fucking toys? Jesus Christ!
That wasn't the part like that didn't get me either. But like what
the part where he's like, this is Woody and he's a Babba, and this is Rex, he's a dinosaur, and they're like, oh man.
And they get played with one last
Yeah, exactly.
time.
That's
what made me cry. Yeah.
That part's good, but part like got to me is with the Care Bearer fucking guy. What's his name?
Oh, Lotso.
Yeah, like
Lotso hugging bear.
When he goes back and then the girl is hugging another Lotso, like that was pretty sad.
Did Lotso come with him?
No.
Okay.
Lotso got stuck on the front of a semi truck.
Oh right.
Yes. Yeah. And then like him and like the clown walked all the way back to the owner's house.
Right.
And then when he got there, he noticed that the girl had another Lotso doll, and he was like, "Oh."
She replaced all of us, but she only replaced Lotso.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's strawberry scented, right?
I thought that was the saddest. I think there's a thing that Toy Story was like, what people say is the saddest part. I was like, that wasn't the saddest part. That was stupid. This was the saddest part.
And then the part that made me cry in the second time I watched it was my favorite part of the movie is when Woody's at the park and the little girl is on the merry-go-round and she rolls around because he's following Bo Peep's sheep. He sees it,
right.
and she picks him up because he's like looking for Bo Peep, and then they're both in toy mode facing each other, and I was like, that's so good.
I really like the little Playmobil.
What if it was a different Bo Peep doll?
He's like, oh my god, it's Bo Peep, and then they go into alive mode. She's
The
like,
funny
"Hi,
thing-
nice to meet you.
The funny thing for me is like the biggest like time frame is the fucking glow up they had to give Bo Peep from 1 because
Right.
whoo man, that looks primitive in the first movie. Now she looks a lot better.
That also, like, I was thinking about, like, I was really paying attention to, like, the animation on this one. It looks really good.
It looks really good.
Like, the people, I hate how the people look.
Yeah,
for the most
well,
part.
yeah, they
But,
look
like,
DreamWorks.
But yeah, it looks very... It looks more like Disney animation.
The thing, yes, it does.
But, like, the environments and, like, the toys, they all look very...
Because the thing is, it's like you, because at a certain point they hit a ceiling, right? Like,
Yeah.
this is as best as we can make it look. Like, it already looks real, so now we gotta be like the most hyper detail oriented,
Yeah.
right?
But,
It's
like,
like from
you also can't do that with, like, people.
Yeah, no, you
Yeah.
can't. Because it looks weird.
It'll look weird.
If you put pores
But,
on
like,
people.
But, like, I still don't like how they look.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know.
But
I
you
think
can add
that-
like the little like fucking
I think because they
felt.
all. I think that's because
Shit.
they all like look the same.
Yeah.
Especially like all like the females have like the same face.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
But I mean, whatever. All women are the same to me anyway.
Hey.
Am I right? Man, I am being
I'm
canceled after
bummed.
this one.
I'm bummed that there was no Toy Story 4 video game because all the Toy Story video games are very fucking good. Toy Story 3 was a great
There's
video
probably
game.
one on mobile where you can just
Ooh.
Or maybe it's like Candy
Toy Story 3 was a
Crush.
great ass video game. That's all I gotta say. On the PlayStation 3,
You can play it in 3D.
you could play in 3D. You could also. It had like PlayStation exclusive. You can play as Zurg only on PlayStation 3.
What?
Yeah, it's fucked
Oh,
up.
If we could go back to Toy Story 3 for just a second.
Sure.
When I was, because there's like this whole batch of movies that came out before I like cared much about movies, before I was paying attention to cast and stuff. So when I was watching Toy Story 3, I was like, whoa, there's a lot of fucking people in this. And Michael Keaton plays Ken.
Wow.
No one told me
Oh,
that.
that's right.
I was
That's
dying.
right.
That's so funny.
Holy shit, you're right. What happened to Barbie? I don't know.
She was in this one a little
Was
bit.
she? Okay.
She stayed at the place with Ken at the
Oh,
daycare.
Playcare. Yeah, you're right. You're
That
right.
was another weird thing about Toy Story 3. People are like, oh, there's so much product placement in Toy Story now. There's all these Barbie dolls. And it's like, yeah, they're toys.
A doy?
I'm sorry that like they had the most like icon of like a female oriented toy like be a
It'd be
main
weird
character
not
now.
to have her in the fucking movie.
Yeah.
I would love to see a movie about my Barbies because I kept them in a plastic tub under my bed. And they were all they would only ever have one shoe because I'd always fucking lose the shoes, and they were always naked and their hair was tangled.
Sounds
and
like
their
toy
clothes were just
soldiers.
everywhere. Yeah.
Namely, that's a lot more than I expected to stay on Toy Story 4. I might play Toy
alright
Story
movie.
3, the video game now.
I
Anyways.
liked it.
Yeah, I liked it a lot too.
Tell me about the last black man in San Francisco.
Yeah, Last Black Man in San Francisco. So I saw this. This is an A24 joint. It was a Kickstarter motion picture that A24 picked up and, funded as well. It is about modern day San Francisco. It stars so I'm not familiar with a lot of San Francisco, but I believe the Tenderloin, or maybe it's beyond the Tenderloin, is the last remaining like low quote unquote low income area in San Francisco. And I think that hasn't been urban renewed. But anyways, it is about this man who says that his grandfather made one of the houses in San Francisco that is like in one of the main districts, probably not too far off from south of Market. So if you've seen movies and you've seen like shit of what San Francisco like the houses look like they're on a slope.
Full House.
Yes, they look like the Full House, but like they're very like intricate, very artsy. They got whatever the hell. They look like a fucking like the Stuart Little house, but bigger because that one was the small one in the thing.
Because he's a mouse.
Because he's a mouse. It's the whole thing. Anyways, Hugh Laurie's not in this movie.
Not
Hugh,
interested.
Hugh Laurie's not the last black man. in San
No, he's
Francisco?
not.
What?
But yeah, the point of it is that was his house, and at one point, the dad lost it because the rates for everything went up. Because there was a certain point where San Francisco made a decision that we are going to urban renewal this whole fucking city in the sake of progress, in the sake of becoming the next New York or whatever the hell, and that only got worse once Google, once Facebook, once Uber, once Lyft, once Twitter, once Facebook, once all of these fucking tech companies came in and just fucking ruined the city. Just nightmare town. For $4,000 for a 300 bedroom square apartment is a nightmare city where like no one's supported, no people of color supported. There is no safety net whatsoever. And so the sad thing is like it's based in truth because like that was a house that they once had. They were a black family, and then they essentially got priced out. And so a white family lives in it, but he cares so much about this house because it's like, oh, it was my grandfather's house. This is to him like this is our family house. So what he comes is like because he thinks like these people don't take care of the house at all. So he comes, paints it, does the garden for them. They don't want him. They really don't want him to, but because the house has sentimental value to him. And then the sister of the person who lives there, I forget, but regardless, I think the house was like given to them or whatever, but it was part of like in their will, like this house is no longer yours. It is like up for like equity or whatever the shit. There's like a dispute for it. And so he's like, oh, so that means that the house has to stay. No, they have to move out of the house, but the house isn't for sale yet. That means nobody's in the house. And it's like, yeah, and they're like, oh, typical San Francisco, am I right? Everything's an Airbnb. There's 1 million houses here, but we can't give it to anybody because it's too expensive because that's the whole business. So there's a shit ton of homeless people, whatever. And so I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna fucking squat in the house and we're gonna restore it. And so yeah, that's the story of this movie. It's just like this person who like really likes this house, and because it feels like the last thing that he has because his mother left him and his dad pretty much abandoned him after that. And so he lives with his friend that he met who's a theater guy who is kind of eccentric. They all lived in the Tenderloin by the last part that has been renewed. Like I don't know much again about the history of San Francisco, but there's a part in the city where the water is just fucked. Like everything, like it's like the last part where all the water, like all the shit, bad water comes in here in this neighborhood where a lot of the black community lives in. And it's probably because they haven't renewed it because the water's so fucking bad. So yeah, he stays there with Danny Glover is his theater friend's dad. And he supports him. He's like, yeah, let's go. Yeah, sure, I'll tag along. And he like draws people and like is trying to make a play. And he eventually makes the play of The Last Black Man in San Francisco. But yeah, it's a very good movie. It didn't floor me like I was expecting to. Mostly because like, yeah, that's the city. It's fucking garbage. It's peak human failure state. Hate that city. It's fucking awful. But yeah, I think it's very good. It ends very bittersweet. I think it ends. I don't want to spoil it because I think Carrie, you want to see it, so I'm not gonna spoil it. But yeah, it's very good once it comes out on Amazon Prime because it is A24. I don't know if they still have that deal with them.
Yeah.
Until A24 is coming out with like their own streaming service.
I can believe that because they're getting into series as well, right?
Probably.
Yeah, they are. They have a few series.
Yeah.
There's too much.
It's really weird how they came after Annapurna and they stole their dream, their whole gimmick.
It's almost like all these streaming services are just basically becoming cable again.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about Burv.
I think the supplemental material for this in Alamo was very good. It was very, very good, especially like if you're not familiar with San Francisco. I think like the stuff they added with it was very, very good. That gave you like the context of like, there's what this history of this city. Here's what it used to be. Here's how it's slowly fucking turned into the nightmare hellhole it is today. Yeah, that's it. I would recommend it. It's good. That one song that's on the trailers is very good with the guy singing If You Go to San Francisco. It's a very good song. Great soundtrack. But yeah, from going to a very sentimental and heartfelt movie
to a different movie.
To a killer doll.
Yeah.
To movie 2 of 3 on this podcast about toys behaving strangely.
Child's Play, the remake.
Yeah.
So I grew up on the Child's Play films as a kid. I don't know why, but I just watched them a lot.
Because Ryan's an edgy tween.
I was an edgy tween. No, because my parents just left these scary DVDs out and didn't monitor what I watched.
And you were an edgy tween, and you were like, I'm gonna watch
I wasn't
this.
a tween. I was like 7.
I'm an edgy tween.
But yeah, I have a lot, like, the Child's Play, like, the franchise is pretty rough.
How's Child's Play 4?
Child's Play 4. So that'd be Bride of Chucky, and it's bad. The first two, I would say, the first original two were pretty good.
Yes.
Curse of Chucky, pretty solid.
At some point, they became self-parody. Terribly self-parody.
At Bride of Chucky, it hard turned to self.
Became like a giant meme.
And then Seed of Chucky is a nightmare to watch.
Yeah.
It is a misery. It has some funny bits because Jennifer Tilly voices the girl, but Jennifer Tilly, the actress, is in there, and there's other actors playing themselves, and that's always fun. But they're very, like, 2003 actors.
That's what I was going to say. It is the most peak
like,
early 2000s.
Who are these people? Like, Jennifer, who?
Yeah, it is the peak.
How dare you?
Peak early 2000s.
And then, like the more I think of, like, Seed of Chucky, especially in, like, a 2019 lens, there's a lot of weird transphobic kind of things in there. I haven't watched it in a long time, but, like, when I think about scenes where they argue about the gender of their son.
That's probably peak cheap pop shots at transphobic early 2000s.
Because there's the scene where they both take down the pencil, like, because it's a doll, like, there's nothing there. It's like, it's a girl. It's like, what do you mean? It's a boy. He just hasn't sprouted yet. You don't get it, son. And they dress Glenn, the child doll, up in different things, and there's it's such a nightmare to even think about. But Child's Play 2019 aims to change everything, because now it's not a killer doll, it's a robotic AI that was programmed by a very angry worker in a sweatshop.
So weird.
It's so weird. George, you didn't see this, right?
I haven't seen it. I want to.
It's you don't need to.
I know everyone's
I liked it more than Ryan.
Yeah.
Donzel liked it the most at everyone.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen any of the original Chucky movies. So I've seen.
Like I said, other than 1 and 2, it's pretty
seen
bad.
I don't know.
Fine.
I don't know which one it was. I think it was Bride of Chucky, because I know that both him and Goth Lady Chucky were there.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a scene where there was a mirror on the ceiling above people having sex.
Yep.
And it breaks.
Yep.
And
That's the only part I remember.
They were trying to put their souls in there, and then they messed up, and they all died. I'm like, oh, come on, man, what's going on here? Oh.
Got it.
But yeah, it's a disgruntled worker in a sweatshop
Who has just been fired.
Who's just been fired. He's like, you're fired, you're useless, but finish that doll, though.
Yeah,
like
classic.
Like
That's
I was telling.
He's like, you know what? Flip, and he's just turning off all the inhibitors, and it's like, violence inhibitor off,
Swearing.
clean mode off.
That's praxis.
Wanting to fuck mode on. And so eventually, Aubrey Plaza, who is very prominent in like the first third of this movie, and then kind of vanishes, I feel.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Also, the voice, the doll is Mark
Hamill.
Marcus Hamill.
He's going Hamill doing his Brigsby Bear voice. It was hilarious.
Aubrey Plaza is the mom. There's a lot of jokes about how she's too young to be the mom, which is like, you don't really need those.
Yeah.
Like, people can have kids young, it's fine.
She's like, I had a very eventful Sweet 16.
And it's like, all right, too much information.
Ryan's just like, I'm just trying to get to the killer doll here. Please move it along.
Exactly. No, and then like she gets this dysfunctional doll and gives it to her son.
She works at like customer service at the this movie equivalent of a Walmart.
Yeah.
And someone brings the doll back and it's like, I don't know, I turned it on and its eyes were red and it just seemed off, so I turned it off and I just wanted a refund.
And she's like, fine.
I mean, she did a good call, it sounds like.
Yeah.
It just sounds like toy soldiers, Ryan. Or small soldiers.
Yeah. Well, it's also because she gives it to her son, who's like probably like 10.
I would say he's like 12 or 13.
Yeah, he's old because like in the original Child's Play, that kid is like
kid.
That's like a 5-year-old
kid.
kid.
That's a kid.
Which is like, I don't. Why they make the kid so old? That makes it even like
just break it.
Just break it. Yeah. And then like he's like, you got me a fucking doll. I don't want a doll.
And she's like, it'd be funny.
And then the thing with this Chucky doll is it's owned by it's created by this company who's essentially like an Amazon or Google, where they have this like they have services and everything. You know, they control your thermostats, they control the TV, they can call an Uber for you. That's a self-driving Uber for you.
So it's like a Google Home, but it's a doll.
A doll?
Yeah, and it can also like remembers things and like will walk with you and like play with you and like, you forgot your science books, which is it's interesting. this massive conglomerate that wants to do everything, and their idea to like bring it, like connect it all into one, is a doll, which is interesting.
Yeah, it's convoluted. It's
very convoluted. And then the way it goes about with the doll, like being this psychopath, is the kid and his friends show him like scary movies and try to
Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
And,
oh wow! All right.
Yeah, and then like
I mean that is the end.
It's a really funny scene because Chucky's main motivation throughout the movie is he just wants to be this kid's friend. Like he wants to be his best friend, and he just wants to make him happy. And he sees this kid and his friends watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, and he like has this moment where he like looks at the screen, sees people being stabbed and their faces ripped off, and then he looks at the kids and they're all laughing, and he's like, And so then he goes and grabs a knife and tries to stab the kids.
I would say the entire Child's Play franchise.
And it also is helped by like they teach him to be scary to scare his mom's boyfriend.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
What was the boyfriend's name? I can't remember. It was like Scott or something.
I would say the entire Child's Play franchise has the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, if you were watching Texas Chainsaw, A New Generation, then things would have got interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Renee Zellweger and what's the guy from Serenity?
Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, I think McConaughey.
Yeah.
How dare you forget Matthew McConaughey's name, first of all?
The guy from Serenity.
Yeah, that is his defining role. I refuse to acknowledge him in any other film.
I will say, I feel like this movie, being so like very different from the original one, it does carry like a very similar like vibe. Because like a main idea of like the first one is like the doll's not really alive; it's actually the kid doing this, and he's like,
which is okay, yeah.
And the kid is just using the doll as like this, imaginary friend who's like telling.
Which they never went into in the first movie.
They never went into it like
because they
fully.
ditched that kid very early in the first movie.
Oh yeah. But they did that a little bit in this one, but like it was really obvious it was the robot because they taught it. Because there's stuff where like Chucky will like bring the kid like gifts, which are like evidence of murders. Like I did this for you, and he's like, "What?
The fuck? The boyfriend's name is Shane, by the way.
Shane? Oh, that's a boyfriend-ass
Shane.
name. And then his friends are like, I think Andy's actually a killer, because like, why would the doll do that? But then it's obvious that it was the doll the whole time. Much like with the original one, where it's obvious because there's a soul in the doll.
Right, I have a question.
Yes.
Is there only one Chucky doll?
Well, in the main narrative of the story, yes, but they're he's of the first iteration of this thing. And he's the only one that's like fucked up.
Oh, okay.
He's the only one who got his inhibitors turned off.
Okay.
But there's a new
They're about to launch the Buddy 2.
And there's a very funny gag in the game. It was like, I thought this doll was supposed to be a redhead or blonde.
No, he was like, my daughter wanted the blonde one. This is a fucking ginger.
Oh yeah. He's like,
I was like, oh.
And I was like, well, the blonde one's a Buddy 2, and this says Buddy 1 on it, so you're an idiot. And he's like, oh. It's like, that's so obvious. Like, it's been out for like a year, and it's the most popular toy on the planet, and you don't know that? Like, Jesus.
Ryan, customers are morons.
No, I work in customer service. I know. Okay, I know that.
This is a new Nintendo 3DS.
This is a new Nintendo 3DS. But there's the ending sequence is the launch of the Buddy 2 doll.
Which also, fun fact, comes in a bear version. So I was like, oh my god, he was doing his Bringsby Bear voice.
And it has this very like Black Friday like segment where all these people are like lining up to like, we need the Buddy 2 doll now, but like Chucky's like behind the scenes doing some killing.
Is that where it ends?
That's where it ends, and it ends really bad. It's a really dumb, awkward like. It's one of those like sequences where like it feels so much like a stage play where nothing really makes sense in the context of like an actual environment. It's more like things are happening for the sake of them to happen for things to go forward and nothing feels natural. I hate it. I hate the third act so much. It's frustrating to watch.
Listen.
Like it's like the idea is funny. I like because it seems like all these dolls are gonna, especially the bear doll, are gonna attack and kill everyone. But they don't. It's just he tied a bunch of knives to drones, and he's like using his finger to make yeet, 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 and it's stupid. It's stupid. And there's then there's the ending in the back, and the guy and it jumps there. He's like, "Ben, you're dead." What did Atlanta guy say? The white dude at the watermelon patch joke that he made. There's a very
okay. If we want to spoil this kill, there's a very strange scene where you find out that Aubrey Plaza's boyfriend is actually married, and he goes home, and he's standing outside his house in presumably summertime, taking down Christmas lights
that are lit, and it's the dead of night.
And there's also a watermelon patch in his front yard for some reason. And so Chucky mows him down literally with a lawnmower and rips his face off like he watched in the movie. And then the cop, one of the side characters is this cop whose mom lives in the apartment complex a few doors down from the main kid in Aubrey Plaza. And the cop shows up to investigate, and he's like, "White man dying in a watermelon patch. How poetic." And I was like, huh?
And that's it. He's just saying that, and he says that, and that's the end of the scene. It's so weird.
It was so weird.
Like, he is a very funny actor.
Yeah.
He's great in Atlanta, and I think he was a voice in something that was very good.
I don't know. I hadn't seen anything else.
But yeah, very weird that he was a rough character in this movie. Very awkward. Really quickly befriended the 12-year-old boy.
Well, you know.
But yeah, I don't like.
Go ahead, Brian.
I didn't care for this, although in terms of a Child's Play, the franchise, it's probably one of the better ones.
That's the thing with the Child's Play franchise. Like, it's not great.
No,
it's bad, actually.
Yeah. But, like, what's fun is, like, the kills are supposed to are, like, creative. And, like, there are a few good ones. Like,
my favorite is the one at the launch when there's this guy who's wearing a Buddy costume, like he has a big Buddy head.
Yeah.
And Chucky like sneaks up on him and stabs him in the neck right as he puts the head on. And so then they throw the curtain up and they're like, "Here's Buddy!" And there's this group of customers, they're like, "Yay!" And then he's like wobbling and he falls to his knees and he takes the helmet off and just blood starts spraying very comically out of his neck all over a little girl in slow motion. It was so funny.
The worst kill scene, though, was the Uber car.
That was so stupid.
So you can use your Chucky to call a self-driving car. And this scene is great because Chucky... It's the cop's mom.
Yeah.
She drives to bingo and she calls the kid. It's like, I'm like, "Oh, look at me. I'm in the future. I have an old lady voice that's comical." Even though I don't think that's how anyone talks. And she gets in the car and it's going, and Chucky is like right behind the car. He's like, "Yeah." And he like uses his finger glows when he's like controlling stuff, and his fingers glow. And he's like, "Yeah." And then she's at the bingo parlor, and her friend's like, "Oh, look at you. You're in the thing." Blah blah. He's like, "I know. I'm really old." And then the car just starts like going weird and like driving backwards and front to back. And Chucky's there, and he's just like using his finger like pointing where it should go. And it's like, first off, how'd Chucky get there? I have two theories. One, he called his own Uber driver. Or two, he's able to haul ass, which he has to be able to do in this movie because there's so many points where he just gets to places so quickly.
Well,
and like he has to be hauling ass.
I mean, in Toy Story 4, Woody ran 5.3 miles to that restaurant.
Yeah, but we saw Woody haul ass. We don't see Chucky haul ass.
But you know that a toy can, based on the toy.
I want to see an actual toy do it, not an animated toy. And yeah, it's just her like in a car, and like the car is like crashing into things, and
she's screaming,
and it's really like prolonged and like obnoxious. And, like, not interesting, yeah.
Well, it sounds like this movie is fine. Probably what Child's Play deserves, honestly.
Yeah, a fine movie. Not one that is transphobic or just borderline unwatchable.
Okay. Well, we are on a kick of toy movies.
Woo!
Man, so they made another Annabelle movie. And
somehow they've made more Annabelle movies than Conjuring.
They somehow fucking managed to make... Yeah, they did that. But so they decided to make the Civil War of the Conjuring universe with this movie. So if you told me that we had to watch a new Annabelle movie at the beginning of the year, I'd be like, why?
And I'd be like, yeah.
But in a strange...
And after you've seen it, you're like, yeah.
In a strange...
But for a different reason. degrees.
In a strange turn of events, turns out when you call up Vera Farmiga, Patrick Wilson, and James Wan comes back from Aquaman land to write a script really quickly, you get an okay
really
movie.
quickly.
Very interesting how that works.
Yeah. So yeah, this movie's okay. It is. If we were to rank, I put Conjuring 1, Conjuring 2. This is directly underneath that. It is the top 3 Conjuring universe
of the
movies.
everything
of the
besides-
spin-offs, yes, it's
Everything
the best spin-off.
besides Conjuring 1 and
Ooh.
2 has been pretty much shit, except for
Yeah.
this.
Everything's been pretty much unwatchable.
I would leave an empty space at number 4, and then 5 I would put Annabelle, the first Annabelle, and then
So on your ranking, you would leave a blank space.
yes, like it's not the
Nothing deserves it.
It's like we need to put like a border of separation and quality here. Like something happened. This is like the
So
zone.
Sorry. It's the line
above this line, this is the watchable / tolerable range. Everything below is like
That's where like the nuclear bomb hit. If you want to go there, you can. It's fucking
Yeah,
contaminated.
that's the fence in order to contain everything.
Yes.
We don't want the poison to escape.
that is the church glass that keeps the other horrors that is the other movies away.
That was so okay. Jumping right into this movie, when she's like, "Where are those pieces of church glass that we got last week?" And then the next second, there's this whole
built into a thing.
built with a sign in calligraphy.
Yeah, it's weird.
Why is church glass holy? Isn't it just regular glass?
No, it was made by Jesus.
We contained it with church wood made from pews.
So the confusing thing to me is, okay, so okay, I guess we should set up. This is after Conjuring 1.
Oh yeah, we were
Yeah.
trying to break down the timeline.
That's where I was
'cause-
confused.
Because
If you would have told me at the beginning of the year that I would be breaking down the Conjuring timeline.
well, this is the weirdest one because
Yes.
part of this movie takes place before Conjuring 1.
Yes.
Because it's when they first get
Get it,
Annabelle.
yes.
But like the first part of Conjuring 1 is the Annabelle scene, and that's when they take her. So then this scene is like right after the first part of the first Conjuring. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And then it seems like the events of The Conjuring happen where they're at the house with the family. And
Do you think
Annabelle-
it's during the events of this movie?
No, I
Originally-
think the second half of Annabelle Comes Home is after the events of The Conjuring, because when they talk to the little girl
I
isn't
can't
as
remember
old.
the second half of it.
The little girl in this movie isn't as old as the little girl was in The Conjuring 2. But when she talks about Annabelle, she's like, "You don't want to fuck with Annabelle." So it seems like the stuff that happened to her with Annabelle in the first Conjuring movie, where Annabelle was like out and she was, because you remember how she has that necklace that flows down the river, and Vera Farmiga's like, "Oh shit, there's something happening at home," and Annabelle was like fucking with her and she was rocking in the rocking chair and everything. So I think that happened before the second part of this movie.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
Yes.
These movies are like intertwined.
Which is weird how confusing they made it, because they are very, very, I don't know. They're good at finding loopholes where they can fill movies in.
Right.
So I don't know if they made the most intricate, confusing shit so they
To
could
be
fill in
fair-
those holes later.
To be fair,
Yeah.
they made Annabelle, which was the origin story of Annabelle.
Yes.
And then they made Annabelle,
Annabelle,
Creation.
which is
was
the origin story of Ann.
that.
Yeah.
Dumb.
Yeah. So confusing timeline aside.
But the good news is that Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga are in this movie in a minor role, but they set up things.
But you get to see Patrick Wilson's forehead. In the end, that's all anyone really needs to see.
And they bring
I love my husband, Patrick Wilson.
they bring such a sense of like,
Oh man, it's good to be home.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
oh, thank God.
it makes it feel like, okay, we should be paying attention.
Yes,
now.
this is important. Great. So yeah, it is fine. It is very. I describe it as the Civil War of fucking, because I would call Civil War. This should have just been called Avengers 3, and I would have just called this. This should just be called Conjuring 3, but it's awkward and it's weird.
Yeah, 'cause
and calling the next Civil War this weird Captain America thing, that's a weird thing, but we're gonna do it anyways. Fucking whatever. And it's also a payoff of like, yeah, here's all the fucking things in the room, guys. I don't fucking here you go.
I called this the Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed.
Yes.
Of the Conjuring cinematic universe.
So, and if you're not familiar with this movie or what the setup is, we follow the babysitter who babysits the Warrens' daughter on her birthday while they're on a trip. That we're not sure what's going on there.
Is that the events of Conjuring 3?
I don't think so.
Yeah, yeah.
Of Conjuring
could
3,
be.
perhaps. I
Yeah.
don't think it's the events of the first Conjuring.
But I think this is way before. I think that 2 is. I always imagine 2 is on the horizon after.
I don't remember exactly the timeline of like where they were before 2.
Well, they're
I
too
feel like
happy to have.
Their daughter is like 14 in 2. I feel
Because
like.
the nun was still fucking with Vera Farmiga. The problem
Yeah.
around 2. So this, and they seem way happier. So part of me tells me that this is after 2.
So it takes between
Annabelle
1 and 2.
Comes Home. There's no way it takes place after The Conjuring 2.
Okay, I don't remember anything about Annabelle Comes Home, so I'll trust you.
This movie that we're talking about.
Oh right, you're right. Sorry.
Annabelle Creation is the very first
That's what I was
one.
thinking.
That happens before.
Yeah, everything. Right. That's origin, and that's
yeah.
0 hour.
But it's not the first movie in the Conjuring timeline because
That's
nun.
the nun.
That's the
'Cause
nun.
that's old as shit.
Fucking goddamn
This
it.
timeline does not need to be this confusing.
We fucking rabbit hole this fucking the fucking nun.
So what makes Annabelle Comes Home fun, which it's not scary, it's
no,
fun.
it's fun. It's
yeah.
fun.
Is like the trailers makes like, oh, that's stupid because it's like she goes into the room and she's like, would you touch everything? But like there's so much weird ghosts like in the house and like it's just kind of fun. Where like you turn a corner and there's this new weird thing with its own unique bit that's like, what is this?
Oh my god, you know what this is? This movie is the scene from Batman vs Superman where he opens up the files with all the Batman file and here's all the movies that are coming.
But the problem with this is that they have directly put everyone underneath Annabelle. That's the problem.
Yeah.
They made everyone into. It's like when you play the fucking Spider-Man video games, and it's like, oh, it's the Spider-Man video game, but Rhino has won the first boss fight, Vulture's the second boss fight. Like immediately, these are C-tier villains. These are like the people you like get before Annabelle.
I don't know, man. I think The Fog Werewolf is gonna be a great movie when that comes out in 2021. Okay.
You could do something with the Fog Werewolf. I think something
You
fun.
could definitely do something with the Fog Werewolf.
I don't know about.
I feel like
the Milton Bradley haunted fucking box was fun.
That was so good.
That was good. I was like,
Oh
I
my
want to see that one.
fucking
That one I
God.
want to see.
that's also like, how?
I genuinely loved
That was a good bit.
Like that, I was like meh on this movie, and then that scene happened with the Feely Mealy box, and I was like,
Yes,
holy
that's a
fucking
great.
shit.
That's a great name.
I loved it.
And also, it
so
took
much.
a while for it to.
Yeah,
It was
well,
the most.
'cause I remember it had such a satisfying place in the movie because I remember when the girl is in the at first in the room, there's this lingering
It's not
shot
even- yeah,
of
it's
this
not a big
board
deal.
game, and I'm like, what am I looking? Why am I looking at this for so long? And then it's in the closet, and
Yep.
you're like, oh,
It is the
it's a
most.
spooky
It is the
game.
most like. Oh, we have actually good writers who wrote The Conjuring in this because The Conjuring. What I love about The Conjuring, it's filled with those moments. Like here's this small thing, and it builds up. Whereas now it's so clear, and like the magic is kind of gone. But the Feely Mealy box, that was great. That was done so well.
It's crazy what happens when you set up a scare instead of just being like, oh, fuck, it's the nun!
Spit Jesus blood out.
But yeah, and so yeah, it's just like the fucking lady fucking touches everything, and it's all gone to shit. And Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson are gone, so they survive the night with everyone's unleashed. There's this fucking guy. He's all like,
What was his name?
I don't remember
His
his
name was like
name.
Brandon or something.
Oh, Brian's got balls? Or
Someone's got balls.
Someone's got balls.
Bob's got balls.
Bob.
Bob's got balls.
Good old
With
Bob.
his
Bob was
guitar.
great. Bob was great. But yeah, it's this movie, to give you the energy of this movie, this ends with dancing in the moonlight at the end with like.
Oh yeah, no,
and
Patrick
it's-
Wilson grabs the guitar as he always does.
Yes!
He's like, yeah, he's like, no. Who let the acoustic guitar on set for Patrick Wilson? We should not have done that. He will grab that.
I was telling Ryan that I imagined at the end of that
Man, I should watch this
scene
again.
where I just imagined that Bob was about to bring out his acoustic guitar, and then Patrick Wilson
Dude.
brought out his acoustic guitar, and then Bob was like, "Oh, okay, never mind."
Again, there are marks in this movie. You can tell, oh, this is a real Conjuring movie.
Yeah.
It's when Patrick Wilson has a fucking guitar. He's gonna do his
Yeah.
goddamn. I was like, all right. And then the credits end, and it's like a Cheers-esque montage of all the fucking enemies, and then it's like, and Annabelle, like, hey guys. And the dancing in the moonlight place, like perfect. Love it. This is exactly what a Conjuring should
I
be.
saw this tweet that was the ending of Annabelle Comes Home. Oh my god, it cut from statuesque, beautiful Patrick Wilson holding a guitar straight into the photo of the real life Ed Warren.
Yes.
They did him so dirty.
Yes. And that's the word. That's the funny thing of like like that was the big thing of the Conjuring, right? Like, this is fucking real. The Warrens are real. And it's,
Dancing in the moonlight.
yeah, it's weird that they like. This is you chose to really. Do we really have to bring it back, guys? Like, come on, we get it. We get it.
Oh, also, there's so many bits with this movie. Me and Ryan were on our way to this movie. We were like, do you think that Annabelle's gonna have a cameo in this? Just because she's had cameos in so many movies. And then there was the real Annabelle doll on that game show. We were like, oh my god, she still found a way to cameo in this.
Oh, man. Man,
great.
I like it a lot more in retrospect.
What do you think is going to be the next spin-off?
I think I would like them to wait and find someone who wants to do the Feely Mealy box.
That would be awesome if there's a whole movie about
I think
Feely
the
Mealy
werewolf.
box.
If you don't want to try,
I know the dress one is probably like
I would want the
easy,
dress
but I
one.
think the dress
I
one
think
could
that
be
would be
interesting.
cool.
But the weird thing about that is there's an indie dress movie coming out.
Yeah, that's true. Angry dress.
Yeah.
The token eye guy.
Oh, the
That seems
Fairy
like
Man.
one you can just shit out.
Yeah.
That's the one you
Yeah,
shit
for
out.
sure.
Although that one, like, I don't really care about that one.
Me either, but that's
No.
very much like trailer.
Like
fucking...
it had a good like bit, like with the eyes and like the coins
when they
drop.
were floating. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Exactly,
that was a cool
but-
bit, but I don't want a 90 minutes.
Listen,
of that.
man,
Yeah.
you just need to make a trailer with that the fucking do it again with the fucking
'Cause
coin
then
thing. And it was like, oh my god, that movie is so scary. I want to see it.
Because then it's gonna be more of like, it's gonna be like, oh shit the nun, oh shit the ferryman, oh shit the fog werewolf, oh shit the CRT with the weird. It's a little in the future.
That was-
I don't get it though.
I didn't get it
why?
either. Why was it scary? I didn't get
No,
it.
it was cool.
It
No,
is
it
cool.
wasn't like it was a cool effect, but it's also like, how did this happen?
I feel like the TV
Oh,
thing.
and the telephone that like
murder
hello. Ah!
I think the TV thing might be a side character that comes along with the main thing. And it's like, oh yeah, I also got a
Yeah, the
haunted
TV is like the Falcon of.
Yes,
of the
exactly,
Conjuring.
exactly. It's like, oh yeah, we also got this fucking weird TV. You wanna take it? Anyways, Annabelle Comes Home was a pleasant surprise. I think that was a very
It's a very
pleasant surprise.
funny movie.
It was a very pleasant. This is also the most positive energy we've ever gotten, Ryan, out of any Conjuring movie, good or otherwise.
That's true.
That's true.
Hey.
Shout out to Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson.
Always a shout out for Patrick Wilson on this podcast.
But yeah, I wonder I don't know how James Wan feels about this series now. Obviously, he came back for this one. He didn't have to come back. He very much didn't. He's got that Aquaman money. But
Which he deserves.
he deserves. I hope he comes back every once in a while because this might get really bad.
I know he's not doing the third one.
I know,
Isn't
which
the guy who
bums me
did
out.
La Llorona doing the third?
Yeah,
That's
it's
the
a
worst one.
bummer. It's a bummer.
I can't wait till I watch La Llorona.
You really don't need to.
Yeah, according to you, if we were to rank these, it's at the bottom.
Yeah, it's my least favorite.
There'd be another blank spot and then La Llorona.
Well, I mean, it can sit next to the nun.
Yeah, it's not too far off in quality, I imagine. Which I think that is the ranking. It's like La Llorona, Nun, Annabelle.
I liked Creation slightly more than the first.
Yeah.
The first
I would
one was
say that.
fucking infuriating when we saw it because it was the first one that spun off, and it was
Right.
like, "This is
and
fucking
people
trash."
and people were like ecstatic for it.
yeah, people were so
losing their
horny for that
mind.
movie.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Remember the part in that movie where I was just dying laughing where she's in the basement getting stuff out of her storage unit or whatever, and she closes the elevator door and it opens and it's still the storage unit floor, and she's like, huh, and then she closes
Yeah, and
the
then
door
the
and
devil-
it opens again, and then she does that like 4 more times, and then actual Satan
Yeah,
is
actual
just there.
Satan's just hanging out there.
I do not remember a
You remember the
single
actual
scene.
Satan, which was it's like some Insidious energy, but not.
Yeah, it really was when he was like climbing up the
Yeah.
stairs.
Because that's the thing.
Crisping the wall.
Because James Wan abandoned Insidious after 2. He was like, I'm done. I'm moving on to like Patrick Wilson, and I'm taking Patrick Wilson.
I'm taking the one good thing about these movies and doing my own thing.
What's her face can
Lin
stay here.
Shaye is good.
She is
Yeah,
good.
Lin Shaye can stay here, and what's her other face can stay here. She's famous now. She's gonna need these horror movies anymore. What's her fucking name? She's Australian. She's very pretty. She was in the Annie remake. I can't remember her name.
Cameron Diaz.
No, not Cameron Diaz. She was in that fucking movie, huh? I forgot. Wow. All right. Anyways, that's all we saw in June. Shout out to Annabelle Comes Home. July, we've seen some of these already, but as usual, we're gonna make you wait until we got takes. Because honestly, is the farewell actually in July? Oh shit!
Yeah, I checked.
All right, fuck
It
me.
is.
All right, cool. Yeah, I got Spider-Man, Far From Home. Ryan's already seen it. Carrie, have you already seen it? You saw Midsummer instead,
Yup.
which is also on this list. I don't know if I need to watch Spider-Man in a movie theater.
The only reason I would want to go is for Jake Gyllenhaal and Zendaya. I like
Zendaya's good.
Zendaya.
Euphoria is a good television show.
Zendaya is very good, and there is a cameo at the very end.
I heard people talking about this.
That is very good. Although what happens immediately after that, I hated. Like people were like, "This changes everything." I was like, "This actually is my least favorite."
Bring back Tony Stark.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is he like an AI?
Oh my god, I would literally blow my brains out if they did that. I would hate. Like he finally left.
If they did like a transcendence ass, he downloaded his consciousness.
Like
transcendence ass.
Very quick thing about this movie. They never shut the fuck up about Tony Stark.
I can
They
imagine.
never shut up about him. And it's like, he just died!
He's the most important person in Peter Parker's life, Ryan. Tony Stark. We all know them. Tony Stark, built his character, his entire worldview. Everyone knows this. Tony Stark.
Yeah,
the most important Peter Parker character in his life.
I hate MCU Spider-Man. I like Tom Holland. Good kid.
He's great.
I think he's going.
He likes Final Fantasy 14, apparently.
I think he's going places. I hate his Spider-Man so much. Like, if he didn't have Zendaya, I'd be
that'd be
this sucks.
Anyway.
And Zendaya's great, too.
All right.
Anyways, Midsummer. We saw it already, but we'll talk about it. Ooh, Crawl.
This is the most fake-looking movie.
It does. It is the most, why is this being put out by Sony movie?
Yeah, I'm so excited. This movie looks amazing.
Yeah.
What if there was
What's
a
his
hurricane?
name? What's his name? The director? I forget his name.
What if there was a hurricane?
I used to know it off the top of my head.
And your house was flooded.
But also,
there was a crocodile.
There's a creature in there.
from the creator of Don't Breathe and The Evil Dead.
Is it?
Alexandre Aja?
Aja, yeah.
Oh.
Yes. He did Evil Dead and, right?
No.
He didn't.
He did Horns.
Oh, wow. He did Piranha. That's what I know him for. I was going to use Piranha.
He
Great
really likes his
fucking
underwater
movie. That's true.
This has Sam Raimi's name on it.
That's why I got confused
Yeah.
because, oh, yeah. There's no way. Man, you are setting yourself up for failure if you made Piranha and now you're making another underwater monster movie. Jesus Christ, you fucking know. There's no way you're going to top that.
What about Crawl Double D?
Piranha Double D was a travesty. I also saw that after Graduate Straight. I saw that after Pulp Fiction.
You had one hell of a day.
Yeah, no kidding. I think that was a 24-hour one. Yeah. What a day. What a disappointment. Holy shit, what a disappointment. Oh my god, Piranha Double D. Garbage. Anyways.
Stuber. His name is Stu, and he's an Uber driver.
It's got Batista in it.
It does got Batista.
It's got Kumail in it also.
Yeah.
This also feels like a movie Kumail maybe doesn't need to do. This also feels like an early Kumail. Like, what's going on?
I don't know.
Hey, listen, LA is expensive. I get it. But, yeah.
Your wife has had bad health before, and you want to have a good security blanket in case it happens again.
Yeah.
I get it. But,
It's
no, he does have a TV show. He has Silicon Valley.
Yeah, exactly.
I was about to say, get a TV
That was like
show.
his big ticket.
Yeah. I've never watched that show, and I don't.
He was in The Walking Dead season 2.
TJ Miller's on that show, right?
He is in that
So I
show.
will not be watching that
Yeah,
show
he is
ever.
in that show.
Kumail was a guest judge on RuPaul's Drag Race once.
That checks
very
out.
Good.
Yep.
What was his takes?
There's an outtake on that they played for this most recent season finale where one of the drag queens to Kumail was like, "I'm sorry, but you're just so attractive."
He went to
and, his wife was also on the panel with him, and she's like, "He's so hot, right? I know." He was like, "I take everything back. Your outfit was great. You did great in the challenge."
Going to WrestleMania and being a judge on RuPaul is a perfect circle. That makes 100% sense. Anyways, The Farewell, which we've danced around it, but this is a movie on the story of this.
A24.
Yeah. I think
about
she
this
was
movie.
a journalist, and that's why it became like a podcast thing. But it is about... So
It's
a
about
Chinese family.
Chinese family, yes.
And their grandmother's been diagnosed with a terminal illness.
Mm-hmm.
But in Chinese culture, I guess, again, I can't say, but she told the story herself.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, we prefer to like celebrate in the lead up to that, so they don't tell her. And so the daughter was raised not in China, she was raised in America. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? We gotta tell her. It's like, no, we're having like this brother of yours is having a wedding. It's really just a front. Like he is getting married, but it is more to like everyone to be there to celebrate with the grandma.
The life of the grandma.
No one's saying anything.
Yeah.
And because
Yeah, I really dug the trailer for this.
Yeah.
It looked really good.
It's a very good, heartfelt story. At least, hearing the person that had been being the person in the movie, it was really heartfelt and it was kind of crazy. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I hope it doesn't, because it looks a little silly. I guess like the way it had in my
It looks
mind.
like it could be like the just right amount of silly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, I don't know.
The Art of Self-Defense, a trailer
Jesse
we've all
Eisenberg.
seen a
Oh
lot.
my god, Jesse Eisenberg.
Listen, I
He's
laugh
back.
at this trailer every time.
Really?
I think it
I'm
looks
tired
funny.
of it.
It does look funny. I've just seen the trailer too much, and the trailer doesn't really change.
Jesse
that
Eisenberg
much.
is a weenie. He's a Weenie Hut general guy.
No, he wants to be Weenie Hat General,
Yeah.
but he's a Weenie Hat Junior.
Yes. He signs up to karate class. His karate instructor is a little crazy. And then stuff happens. It turns into dark. It looks like a dry, dark comedy. Yeah, it looks cool. I'm just tired of the trailer.
Also, I feel like Jesse Eisenberg at some point needs to stop playing this kind
I
of
think Jesse
character.
Eisenberg is like uninterested in acting, I feel, most of the time, right?
Yeah, it seems like it.
Right? He just chooses what he wants.
Because like he plays the same roles as like a Michael Cera, but like he survived, but he's still getting the same roles.
Yes.
Yeah.
But also, he feels way better off than Michael Cera.
Yeah.
I was watching a YouTube video where they were talking about Ready Player One, and they were discussing who else could have played the main role in that movie, and one of them was like, they need someone with a little more charisma. I don't know, get like a Jesse Eisenberg in there. And the other guy was like, Jesse Eisenberg is a charisma void. Why would you pick
Jesse
him?
Charisma played Mark Zuckerberg in a movie, motherfucker.
Perfect.
Sweet
cast.
Baby
Sweet
Rays.
Baby We're out here smoking these meats.
The Lion King.
I do not.
John Favreau's
Don't
The Lion King.
care less.
Yeah,
I
man.
like Billy Eichner.
I do like Billy Eichner.
I like
and him playing like a role with Seth Rogen sounds. amazing.
Donald Glover,
Yeah.
but I have no interest in this. Yep.
Yeah, I mean.
Eric Andre plays one of the.
That checks out.
That sounds
That's
great.
again the role he's been made. Again, this makes sense. I don't care.
Yeah, could care
This
less.
all makes sense. I don't care. This is all a Facebook Dreamcast thing. I get it.
It is.
Yeah, I don't care though. I'm sorry. Like, it's just like I'm tired of the Disney live action project number 5 or whatever the fuck. And you're not. It's like can't be as colorful. Well, listen, Africa's very pretty. You know. Things can look, sunsets look really pretty. You can look colorful, but it's not gonna look as cool and imaginative as The Lion King. And it just feels like you're if it's like when they did the shot-for-shot remake of Psycho. It's like, why? Why do we? What with Vince Vaughn? Maybe not that, but why are we doing this? Like, it doesn't need to be done other than the sake of money. So, and the fact that everyone's gonna lose their mind on social.
And it's gonna make so.
It's
much
gonna
money.
make
$1 billion.
the stupidest amount of money. Just like the dumbest amount of money possible. It's gonna make Toy Story 4 look like a fucking failure.
And people are gonna be like, "Yeah, that was all right, I guess." And it's like, "Well, why though?
Why do we gotta keep doing this? We can stop. We don't have to go to the movie theater. You don't have to watch the trailer and then go to the movie theater. We can just stop.
You have the power.
We've seen the trailer. We can imagine what the movie
Yes,
would
exactly.
look like with real
We've
lives now.
seen it.
Yeah, because guess what? We've all seen the movie a lot. We
Yeah.
know.
We're all idiots. Shout out to Disney having probably the most profitable fucking box office year in
Lord.
history.
That is
Without
scary.
putting out anything original.
No, yeah, because they had Avengers, they got Frozen 2, they got this, they got Toy Story 4 all in one
got
fucking
Aladdin
year.
as
They got
well.
Aladdin. They got Dumbo.
Put
That
a
is
bullet
on
in my
that is
head.
Amazon on Amazon now, and I have hovered over that rent button a few times. I'm so curious.
Anyways, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It seems to have a Hollywood story, but then also have the not Marilyn Manson thing. No,
Charles Manson.
Charles
Manson
Manson.
family murders.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Manson
well, because
family.
it's got Sharon Tate.
Because it's got Sharon
in it,
Tate,
so-
and also it's got a guy that looks like him in like some of the trailers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is him.
Yeah.
That's pretty sure.
I think Kit Harington plays
Yeah.
him.
Oh, fun. Yeah, that checks out, I guess. And so they're gonna wrap it up into this like story of Hollywood, and I don't know. It's Quentin Tarantino. I don't know how many movies has it been. Is it the 10th?
It's the
Nine.
Ninth?
The movie is the 9th film. By
That's
Quentin
how he advertises
Tarantino.
all the movies.
And
Yeah,
it's like, relax.
that's how he's done it for. That's how he does it. So
No, I get it, but like
Did he do
needs.
that for his first movie? Be like, the first movie. Quentin
No.
Tarantino. Who?
I don't think he did that until Kill Bill. I think he started doing that. Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if that motherfucker counted Kill Bill 1 and 2 as 2 separate fucking movies. That's cheating. You know what? That's a one
Yeah,
movie.
it is a good question.
That is one fucking movie, my guy. Anyways, that is all that's coming out in July that we have on the document here. Netflix will probably put some shit out.
Yeah,
I looked, there really wasn't.
Really?
Yeah. They have like a lot of shows. And
Have you heard of the Stranger Things?
yes,
Have you heard of Stanger Things?
I actually finished it today.
I heard it's better than the second one
It
by
is better.
miles.
It's very goopy.
That's what I've heard. It's kind of gross. I've heard.
There's some gross stuff, and the new like monster is.
Also heard there's a lot of making out of children in it.
There is. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, it is a Stephen King kind of
that
base.
is
Well,
true.
like the
Man, my favorite thing is seeing how many people saw it, and I was like, "This is just Stranger Things." That's my
That's so
favorite thing, and I
funny.
thought of you. I was like, "Oh man, whatever."
no, like one of the very first like things is like Finn Wolfhard character in 11, like they just make out all the time.
Right, and his like
And-
bro brother's
and-
like, "I want to hang out with her."
Yeah.
That's what I've heard.
And the cop guy who's like now 11's
yeah.
dad is like, stop making out! It's really funny. It's really funny. Like she'll like use her powers like slam the door, so he's like, open the door, and like he breaks it down, and there's like, what's going on? Like not even near each other. It's like, stop doing that! It's funny. It's like there's some stuff like I don't care about Skinny Girl and her boyfriend.
Oh yeah.
Like their arcs, like in season 2, were like I don't care, and like their stuff in this season was like I don't care. Steve Harrington back at it again.
Yeah.
He's amazing again.
Anyways, we're talking about Stranger Things. So
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I'm looking for. That's not a movie, but I'm looking forward to watching that because I heard that's way better than 2 by
It is way better
miles.
than 2, yes.
All right.
It honestly feels like a film. Like it has like a structure to a film.
Well, that's great. We're talking about a movies podcast. Wow. Guys, July sounds. We've already seen the best of July.
We haven't seen Crawl yet. What are you talking about?
We haven't seen Stuber yet. His name is Stu, and he rides an Uber. You can't, who writes that?
Yeah, good thing he didn't work for like Lyft. Stiffed.
Oh boy. Well, Ryan, if people wanted to say hi in the internet,
They could visit at Mr. Pibb Official.
if they wanted to complain about their Pib product, at Mr. Pib
There's
Official.
never been a complaint about a Pibb
Never been a
product.
complaint for Mr. Pibb ever.
Yeah, he will never be canceled. Don't look into it. Please don't. He's a good guy, loving
God.
family.
Oh boy.
Trying to get his doctorate.
Carrie, where can people find you?
Find me at Kar, Kar_E Lyles, Lyles.
And you can find me at jcruzalvarez26, where at 3 times this month, even someone on Twitter told me, you should start a letterbox. And I think I will finally get to it. I keep fucking forgetting. I will probably do that.
Well, you can find me on Letterboxd if you just search my name, Carrie, Karrie.
I'm
Oh, well, you got on there early.
I'm still annoyed. You didn't even get in there early, but you still
didn't.
got your name. I had one before you.
I'm unique. Oh, good. Sorry, Ryan. Jeez. I had Letterboxd before it was cool, aka when Carrie joined and made it cool.
Look, that is true. I will say it.
If you enjoyed this show, you can let us know by just tweeting at us or rating the show on iTunes. That'd be really nice. But yeah, July is gonna be man. I'm bummed
We're
out
going to talk
now.
about 2 movies in
July is going to be hot outside.
That is very true. That is very true. I may just watch Kill Bill again. I don't fucking know.
Ooh.
Yeah, no need.
Hey, whoa, wow. All right. Well, fine. I'll watch Telephone by Beyonce and Lady Gaga, the music video for Telephone.
Yeah.
That was so funny because I just watched Kill Bill for the first time like recently, and I was seeing all of the
fucking-
references.
Oh, it's
I was
that
like,
truck from
oh,
the
it's
music
from
video for
this.
Telephone.
This is a rip-off of Lady Gaga's
This movie
Telephone.
like ripped off Lady Gaga. What the hell?
I'm going to call her about this.
Yeah, Gaga, I got another one. This Quentin Tarantino bitch.
Anyways, until next time, we will see you then. Bye-bye.